Streaks is a new game mode by Underdog Fantasy where you can win up to $10,000 for getting 11 straight picks in a row correct. I'm going to break down this game mode, but I'm also going to show you guys the strategy that real people are using to win $10,000 playing this game mode. If you've ever been on gambling Twitter or sports betting Twitter before, you've probably heard of the ladder challenge, where somebody chooses a starting amount, $5, $10, and they try and turn it into $1,500 or maybe $5,000 by getting one pick right a day. That's basically what we're going to be doing here, but this time you're going to start with a 2-pick. Once you get past the 2-pick, you need to get 9 more picks in a row correctly to end the streak and cash out for that big $10,000 prize. So yes, to start your Underdog streak play, you actually have to hit a 2-pick parlay or a 2-pick entry on Underdog. But the following 9 picks, you can actually choose individually one by one and wait till they cash before you choose your next one. You can even do multiple picks in the same day as long as they start and end throughout that day, or you can take the next 9 days, choose one play a day, and do it that way. As a matter of fact, you have up to 30 days to complete your streak, so you could be a little picky with these. Now, before you start selecting your picks, you're going to need to select your starting entry amount. Remember, you're going to win 1,000x if you get 11 plays in a row, so if you select $1 entry amount, you're going to win up to $1,000. If you're going to select $5 entry amount, you'll win $5,000. And if you select the $10 entry amount, you will win that grand prize of $10,000. I will note that you can actually win more than 1,000x multiplier if some of the plays in your streak have a higher multiplier than their normal even lines. All right, we're going for the gusto. We selected a $10 entry amount to start our streak. Now we need to find our 2 favorite plays on the board. One of the most profitable and well-respected bettors in the space, Alex Monahan, actually broke down the math behind these streaks plays and gives us more of an insight to what plays we should be looking for when we get them in for our streaks. To start, he tells us that we're getting each individual leg in our Underdog streak at minus 114 implied odds, which is a break-even win rate of 53.3%, meaning we have to win each individual leg of our Underdog streaks at about 53.3+% if we want to win money and profit long-term playing streaks. And then he basically goes on to say you need to make sure that each play you are betting in these streaks has an edge against the underdog and a potential win rate of above 53.3%, not picking 50-50 plays that have no edge where you're going to win 50% of the time, lose 50% of the time, because that's how you'll be unprofitable playing streaks. So now how do we find plays that are going to win above 53.3% of the time in order to get them in our streaks and cash out big? I'm going to let these real people that have already cashed out big for $10,000 or $1,000 playing Underdog streaks explain their process so you guys can take it from them. This guy Dial turned $10 into $10K last week playing Underdog streaks. As you can see here, these are the streaks plays that he had entered in, and you can see his entry amount $10, 1,000x multiplier paid him $10K on Underdog. He basically starts by breaking it down, how you start with a 2-pick entry, you need 9 more, you win 11, and you win big. But the key thing that a lot of these guys have in common is that they are finding plays that have above 53.3% chance to hit based on sportsbooks lines and odds and comparing them back to Underdog and the projections and odds you're getting on Underdog streaks. And this is the website they're using. It's called Daily Grind Fantasy, where it helps them compare these sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to Underdog, finding where the sportsbooks are giving these plays the best chance to hit under this odds percent to hit column, making sure each play that they are choosing is above that 53.3%. and getting them into their streaks. I mean, and just looking at this board, you can see this would be a really good play to start your streak with. Rory McIlroy is set to 71 strokes on Underdog, but the entire sportsbook market and other different DFS apps have this bumped up to 72 or 72.5 strokes, so there's really good value taking the over on Underdog right now when comparing to the rest of the market. Dial even went on to show us an exact example that he used in his streak play. You can see he breaks it down here. Asar Thompson, under 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He had a lot of money on the line, so why did he trust this play? Well, he breaks it down for us. Major sportsbooks heavily favored the under of 20.5 PRA for Asar Thompson, like FanDuel having it minus 160 towards the under, and multiple other sportsbooks even bumped this down to 18.5 and 19.5, clearly showing value on the under 20.5 that we're getting at minus 114 odds in the streak play. Essentially, all of these major sportsbooks are telling us this should be set lower at either 18.5 or 19.5 PRA. Getting it at 20.5 and the best possible odds is a steal. This is why it's important to never bet with your gut when you can find plays just like this that have a huge edge in your favor against the books. Remember, the sportsbooks paint the picture for you with their projections and odds. These sportsbooks have multi-million-dollar algorithms and models, all setting their own projections and odds. If you have 10 sportsbooks all agreeing this should be set lower than 20.5, I'd probably listen to the 10 major sportsbooks that are telling you that instead of just Underdog being set to 20.5 and trusting that they're right. I mean, he wasn't doing too bad being up $2,000 on Underdog in 2025, only 2 months in, but now check it out. Up 12K on the year on Underdog. This other guy, Nick on Twitter, hit for 10K as well, and his strategy is pretty similar to Dial's, but he'll show you that he does things a little differently, utilizing the notification features on Daily Grind Fantasy, so check it out. You can see, how do I find my plays? He uses the optimizer, he tells us that, but he found 2 props that have above 56% odds to hit to start his streak, and then he sets his UD alerts on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer to alert him of plays that pop up with a 60+% chance to hit. He also gives you an example play of a good play to start your streak with, but he also goes to tell us that hitting 11 props in a row is tough. There's a reason it's 1000x. I think we all know that. An 11 leg parlay is really hard to hit. It's like plus 100,000 odds. So do know you are not going to hit this probably on your first try. But if you continue getting an edge with each play that you put into your streaks, you will hopefully come out on top. You're at least setting yourself up for the best possible chance to win that huge win of $10,000. But you can see it took him 3 weeks to finish his streak because he was choosing his spots and finding plays that gave him a huge edge 60+% on each of those final 9 plays. And now before I show you guys how I start a streak live in this video, I want to highlight one more guy. This guy, Travis on Twitter, turned $1 into $1,040. If you have a smaller bankroll, it's okay. Play the $1 one. Have some fun with it. Learn how to find these plays that have an edge, and hopefully you'll hit in 1000x that $1. But you can see here, he also uses the optimizer, but has a little bit of a different angle on it as well. He uses the 3 minimum data point setting on Daily Grind Fantasy to show up plays that only have 3 major sportsbooks backing it and telling you that it's a good play on Underdog. You can see here, he gave an example of this Russell Westbrook under 24.5 points, rebounds, and assist line, where multiple sportsbooks, including FanDuel, bumped this 2 lower down to 22.5 and even 23.5, with some major sportsbooks favoring it under 24.5. It's not quite rocket science what they're doing. They're just simply waiting for really, really good value to hit the board and playing it. But if you guys want to do the same thing using Daily Grind Fantasy, I'll leave a link down in the description below. But if you sign up using code Dustin, DGF27, you'll get 25% off your very first month. Now let's start our own Underdog streak play. At the very top, you're just going to scroll over under promos and then hit this streaks button where it says play up to $10,000. From there, you're now in streaks mode, where you can choose 2 plays. I'm just choosing 2 random ones right now to show you where it's going to bring you to the screen. Just select your entry amount, and then you'll hit enter. Now let's find some plays that are going to kick off our streak. Right off the rip, Zach Collins under 23.5 points and rebounds. Let's go ahead and pull up Zach Collins and see if we can snag this under 23.5 points and rebounds. So that looks like it did get bumped down to 22.5, but let's go ahead and give this another refresh. So we do have Joe Highsmith. That is about a 55% chance to hit. We'll go ahead and lock in Joe Highsmith over 73.5 strokes. We can see that the market is establishing this right around 74.5 strokes when you look at what Better, PrizePicks, and Parlay Play all have this projection set at. From there, we can find another play that we like. We have multiple data points on this Franz Wagner over 5.5 first quarter points, both at minus 140 and above that percent chance we need to hit 53.3%. This is at 54.41%. So to get our streak started, we'll go ahead with Franz Wagner over 5.5 first quarter points as our other play. And we're going to play this for $10 to win 10K. Went ahead and entered it, and boom, we've started our road to greatness. Now, hopefully these 2 plays hit and we continue on our streak to win 10K, but if they don't, I'm not going to quit there. I know that I am betting with an edge. In long term, we're going to hit one of these eventually, and it's going to be a profitable decision on my part. Some of the key takeaways from this video are to make sure that every pick you are putting in your streaks have an edge against Underdog. You are getting in plays that are worth getting into your streaks. So the other key takeaway, be picky. Be picky. You have 30 days to complete this. You don't have to rush it. If it takes you 3 weeks to win 10K, I'd say that's well worth it. Now that's going to be it for this video. If you learned something or you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and don't forget the subscribe button on the way out as we post sports betting content like this every single week.